In this video, I'm going to do a review of the Atlantic from NUX. Hey guys, I'm Doctor McFarland and welcome back to the channel. If you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe down below and click the bell so you'll be notified every time I release new content. Now in the next coming months, I'm going to do a lot of pedal reviews from different pedals that's come across my hands here recently. So stay tuned for that. And if you've been looking at the Atlantic or any kind of delay, reverb, dual pedal kind of thing, I've only had this pedal for a few days and I'm already pretty much in love with it. It sounds great and it has all the features that I would normally look for in a reverb or a delay separately anyway. And it's great because they're in the same box. You can use one power supply for both effects, and it fits very snugly on any size pedal board. So what we're going to look at first is the reverb side, and I have it on spring, but there's also plate and hall. So I'm going to set the level and decay at 12 o'clock. I am playing through the Quilter Aeroblock 45 with a Reverb Jetstream 390. And here's the sound of the amp without the reverb. Alright, let's see what the decay sounds like with it all the way down. Alright, so I love the sound of the spring reverb, and the hold function for the reverb is really cool. So it's not really the same on all three reverb types. So you basically have the spring reverb, and then when you hold down the switch, you get an infinite repeat decay kind of thing going on. So let me play a chord and you can hear what that sounds like. Alright, very cool. And let's go into the plate. This is all the knobs at 12 o'clock. And shortest decay. Alright, let's bring the level down just to tuck it away a little bit. You definitely can make it sound like a really nice room. And then let's bring the decay all the way up. Alright, now let's check out the hold function for the plate. Alright, I was trying to see if the decay in the level knobs affected the overall volume of the shimmer once it got blended into the signal. I'll keep experimenting with that a little bit later, but it sounds really good as is. And here's the Hall setting with both knobs at 12 o'clock. Short decay. And let's lengthen it a little bit and blend it in. Here's the dry signal again. And the wet. Alright, so if you don't like things being totally dry, you can definitely sneak in a little bit of verb there just to give it some sense of space and movement. So let's check out the hold function for the Hall. Let's turn the level and decay up a little bit. Alright, so we're just going into infinite decay, infinitum, and it sounds really good. So we're going to stick with the spring and bring the level down a little bit here. And let's go ahead and check out the delay without the reverb. And we're going to set it to 70s, which is actually your space echo from Roland. Sounds really good. So this is what the repeats at 12 o'clock and the level at 12 o'clock sound like. And the subdivision is set to 1, which is basically core notes. So I'm going to tap in the tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Alright, let's go to the 60s, which is your analog style delay like a Boss DW3. And your 80s, which is the clean digital delay like your Boss DD3 or DD6, DD7, something like that. So the time gives you different subdivision options. So regardless of when you're tapping in, you can make it a quarter note, a dotted eighth, an eighth note, a 16th, and so on, just like super short. So check this out. We're going to go, this is what the dotted eighth sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we can make it half. Alright, so that's basically your eighth note. Here's a 1/3. It's pretty much like a triplet. Here's 1/4, which is going to be your 16th note. Alright, 1/6, which is some form of a triplet thing. Let's tap it in, 2, 3, 4. And 1/8, which is probably like a 30-second kind of subdivision. 2, 3, 4. Alright, very cool. So there's a lot that you can do with the subdivision stuff. Let's do like a slapback kind of thing. Let's put it on 1/6. 2, 3, 4. Let's roll back the level a little bit. Kick on some reverb with some spring. Cool, love it. I'll probably keep it on 3/4 most of the time just because I like the dotted eighth kind of sound. You can just get that gallop kind of sound. So let's mess with the repeats. You can see that it goes into self-oscillation when you crank it up. And you can still use the time knob just like you would an analog delay to ramp up or slow down the speed. So it's really cool. And one feature I always love to know about, especially with delay and reverb, is does it have tails, trails, or spillover? However you want to call it. My personal preference is if it does not have those features, I will not buy the pedal. Because I can't stand for a delay or a reverb to be on, and then when I bypass the effect, it cuts off abruptly, and it just doesn't sound very natural to me. So there's a lot of other products that I have passed on just because it didn't have the spillover feature built into the unit. Now, any manufacturer out there that wants to try and cut costs by not including any kind of spillover or trails feature is basically, in my opinion, shooting themselves in the foot. I would rather pay an extra $100, $200 to have that feature in there versus trying to cut costs and save money for the consumer and not having that feature and risking the delay and reverb not carrying over between presets or even just bypassing the effect. So this is what the reverb sounds like with the spillover. So let's turn up the decay and level pretty good, and I'll bypass the effect. You can hear it keep going. Cool. So there's a lot of reviews that I watched about this pedal that the spillover or trails feature was not even talked about. And to me, that's a huge feature to kind of glaze over in a pedal review. So let's do the same thing for the delay. And what's great about the smart tap is the pedal knows when you're actually tapping in. So it can distinguish between a multi-tap kind of function, or we can just push it once and it'll know, hey, I'm going to turn off the delay now versus tapping something in. Okay, see how the light's still going? Because it knew I was tapping something in. So let's go ahead and play a little bit here. And I can bypass the effect and it will keep spilling over even though I disengage the effect. So let's do that one more time with the reverb and delay. Very cool. Now there is a +4 or -10 dB depending on if you're using it with line level or inside of a rack or something like that. And there's also parallel in series, which I messed with a little bit before this video, and I really can't hear a huge difference, so I'm probably just going to leave it in parallel most of the time. But if you want to get experimental and try out the different series and parallel effects, then you can surely do that on your own. But just know that you can see about the size of the pedal. It fits perfectly on a Metro 16 with a little bit of space above it for another pedal. Probably not too big, but you can definitely fit something in there. And it just fits nice and snug between two other pedals of similar size. And I just simply have one power cable going in. And this whole board is powered by a one spot with a daisy chain. I'm still experimenting with pedal placement and stuff like that, so I didn't want to have anything too permanent. But this pedal does draw 300 milliamps, which is a lot for just a one spot. And when you have other overdrive or distortion turned on, it does get a little bit noisy. So that's why I do have a CS6 available for this board once I get everything tidied up and ready to go. and it'll make everything nice and quiet. But for now, I just want to power everything up, throw some leads between the pedals, and just test out some tone. So if you're looking for an excellent delay and reverb all in the same pedal, then definitely check out the Atlantic from NUX. I give it my stamp of approval, just what the doctor ordered. I think I'm loving it. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so you'll be notified next time I release a cool pedal review. And if you know somebody who's been looking for a reverb or delay and is kind of on the fence on which way to go, definitely share this video with them so they can make a good educated decision on what pedal is best for them, okay? And if you want to dive deeper into music theory, gear, and recording, definitely go over to my website and check out the membership I have over there. It is unlimited access to all training videos that you will not find here on YouTube, and it will train you to be a more confident musician who is always ready for the studio or the stage. So I'm Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.